So how do you feel after that performance?
I feel great. It's like, you have a game plan every fight, and you go through it your whole camp every day. It's like the same thing. You drill this, you drill this, you drill this, and you think about all the what ifs. If they're gonna do this, you have a game plan for everything. And so it was just nice to have that exact game plan in camp, the whole camp. Never changed it once, and it worked out.
So what was the game plan? I mean, ultimately you knew that you were going to end a submission, or did just the way it's set up? I mean, what did you have set up?
The
for?
fight to the ground. The submission was up in the air because he does have a great jiu-jitsu background. But the game plan was to go forward, circle to that right, and attack that lead leg for takedown, and then get to that body and take him down. And so that's exactly what I did. I hit that single, drove him into the cage, and then once I got him on the cage, I went to that body lock and I pulled him to the ground. And I think I did it twice. I don't remember, but. That's the exact game plan. And then passing the guard, staying out of his full guard as much as possible, and then kind of avoiding his butterfly guard. Once I felt it, I wasn't too scared of it after that.
And I feel like we've watched you for so many years. It still feels like you're back into your groove.
Yeah.
I mean, did something change recently, or is it just a matter of just getting the head right? I mean, what's really working?
It's like a lot of people don't know like my full setup, my full story and stuff like that. But I have 4 daughters, and I've been with the same woman for 14 years, and so I have a full-time family outside of MMA. And so when things aren't going my way, I'm focused. It's because I'm focused on my kids. I'm focused on what needs to be done there. And so at this point in my life, I'm feeling pretty secure about where I'm at with my family and where I'm at with, my job, my career, and then with the UFC. It's like things just kind of click, and it just happens like that. But I think every fighter kind of cycles through your ups and downs. Like one fight you'll be on point, next fight you just don't look as good, and a lot of it's matchups. That's why Sean and Mick and all those guys have such a hard time making the right matchups, because like it'll be some fight that no one talks about that it'll be the best fight of the year, and then they'll get all this big hype behind the fight, and then nothing happens. So it's really just a matter of things clicking at the right time, and right now is my time.
Did you say 4 daughters?
I have 4 girls. I have a 13-year-old, 11-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 5-year-old.
So you're really out. You're out gunned at home.
Yeah, but you know what? My daughter actually, she never wrestled in her whole life, because I never let her. I was like, you're not wrestling. I don't want you wrestling, because I wrestled my whole life. It's just a rough sport. And so when I grew up, there was maybe like 1 or 2 girls that were wrestling. And so now in Texas, man, like girls wrestling is just through the roof. Like USA Wrestling has done such a great job. And my daughter's in 7th grade this year, so she wanted to try wrestling. I was like, you know what? They got a full girls practice. They got a full girls team. That's fine. And so this kid goes out there, and she finishes the season out 16-1, and she got 2nd at state in Texas, and it was her first year. She'd only been wrestling for about 3 months, so it was just so happy to see that. But my focus outside of, like, I don't get on social media a lot, so if someone wants to call me out, don't call me out on Twitter. I'm not going to go back and forth with you if you really want to fight, hit Sean up, and we'll get it going. But, I'm definitely focused on my family, and that's why everything's clicking right now.
How special is that to share that sport bond with your child?
Well, I share like my conditioning. Like my 11-year-old, she's like insanely good at soccer. She travels all around Texas and Oklahoma, and she plays soccer all the time, and she works her butt off. And I think them watching me come home after school and train, and then I'll play with them, and then I'll go back to practice, and like they see me doing 2 and 3 days all the time, and I think that it kind of rubs off on them. But wrestling is just such a great sport, and I'm very happy to share it with my daughter, and it's definitely opened the door to my other girls wanting to wrestle too. So it's been a good time for sure.
And 14 years on the marriage, man. What's the key to the success on
you
that
gotta bust your ass. I don't know. That's about it, man. We just me and my wife have the same focus on everything. Is kids first, and we do everything like that. And then we're like, me and her about to go to Cabo for a few days and just kind of relax. And the kids are staying at home with her mom. So we get some alone time every once in a while, and it's great. But we like to stay focused on the girls.
Well, now that like you said, it feels like your home life is good, and now that this is 2 wins in a row, do you feel like now the mind's in the right spot where you feel like you're having a re-emergence of your career? Is this a new?
I kind of just I sat back for a while and kind of became a fan again, because for the longest time, for like 3 or 4 years, I never watched any fights. I didn't watch any LFA. I didn't watch Bellator. I didn't watch UFC. I didn't watch anything unless I had someone on the team fighting, and half the time I wouldn't even remember if they were fighting or not. Like I would just be so focused on my girls and whatever, and that I would kind of forget about it. And so now I'm like renting every pay-per-view. Every time they come up, I'm watching everything. I'm wrestling more than ever. Going back from my beginnings was in wrestling. So I actually took over the middle school program. So my daughter, I was making sure that she would wrestle, and I wanted to be her coach. So I took over the middle school program at Rockwall Wrestling, and it's just been such a great year working with those kids, and it made me fall back in love with wrestling. And so having that will and that grind in wrestling, and all those little high school, middle school kids coming to you and with that energy, it's awesome. It kind of spreads around a lot, and it's definitely helped a lot too.
And I know your team is always very, very tight with each other, and you guys always take care. Have you been really trying to be, I don't know, I guess a leader for the team as well when it comes to something?
No, I'll do my thing, and I think if everyone takes care of themselves, it almost like half-ass sounds selfish, but it's not, because like if you take care of yourself, people feed off your energy. So if you're in there and you're not taking care of yourself, and you come to the gym, people look at you and you're like, ooh, I don't want you at practice. Like your energy's not right today. So like having that high energy, we got one coach. I've had the same coach for 10 years now with Saif. That was our 20th win together, and so having that consistent energy every day is why we're at where we're at. We have one of the best teams up and coming, and we've been around for a long time too. So, we're coming this year. It's going to be a heavy year for Fortis, and, these guys are busting their butts, getting me ready for the fight, and, I couldn't be more happy with my team.
Well, and then I guess just looking, last one for me, just looking for the initial future. This was I think definitely a character that was coming up that a lot of people were putting hype on him, thought this was a guy that people had to look at, and you took him out. Looking ahead, are there other names, or, what sort of things are you setting for yourself goal-wise short term? Are there names, and what sort of goals do you set?
Yeah, I try to say it without blasting any one particular name, but I want someone in the top 15 or in the top 20 that is the hype man, that is people thinking that they are who they are, and not that I'm calling them out. I just want to fight those guys. I want to be in the top 15 this year. I don't want to sit around and wait for a 6 month, do a full 3 month camp. I hate doing full camps. I want to do 2 and 3 week camps. I want to take short notice fights and be the guy that steps up, because it's I'm training my ass off every day. I've got a lot of things going on, and it's for me to set aside 3 or 4 months of just focus on this one thing, it's kind of annoying to me. So I would much rather just take those 3-4 week notice fights and get it going.
Well, don't you think, a lot of fighters, they do that through Twitter, and it sounds like you don't really want to jump on the Twitter thing.
Well, see, but the Twitter is just annoying, because it's you might have a handful of people that are following this story back and forth. You're talking to him, he's talking to you, back and forth, and then maybe it gets picked up. But if it doesn't get picked up, then you're just a douche, and it's where's the very fine line there? So I think if there's some real grounds to stand on, and you have some real things to say to someone, you can say it to them, and maybe one tweet, and then if it goes out and it gets big, maybe you guys both hit up the matchmaker, and then if someone wants to call me out, call Sean, bother him, blow his phone up, and get it going.
Dig it. Congrats on the win.
I've just got one for you. I've been asking all the fighters. You were the 5th finish out of 5 finishes tonight. You don't seem the type to really be overly concerned about a bonus, but where do you think that you rank in terms of a bonus for tonight?
Yeah, I am very concerned about the bonus. I have 4 daughters, so yeah, every fight I won that bonus, and it's you never know what they see to get the bonuses and stuff. I'm trying to go out there every fight and get a finish. I'm I was telling everybody earlier, I'm 20-4 and I have 18 finishes. So I'm looking for a finish every single fight. And if the bonus comes my way, that's what makes me happy. That's why having that little bit of hope each fight is it's cool to have that. Even if it's not a lot of money to you, which it is to me. So it's to think that 50 extra thousand is just sitting there for the taking. It's pretty cool to have that chance.
Where do you think you rank? Do you think you've got a good chance? I mean, I don't know if you.
I didn't watch any of the fights. Yeah, I didn't watch any of the fights, and I only saw maybe one fight. It was the heavier guys. I think maybe a light heavy or heavyweight. I don't know, but that was a good fight. The guy he showed up, man. I didn't know his name, and I don't know half the guys' names, and I apologize for that. But I'm just here to. I want to get finishes for sure, and I want that bonus every fight.
Thank you.
Hey, Damon. I noticed that you got a new back tattoo.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration for that?
It's actually a math equation, but it's kind of a 2-part thing. But I can be it's just going into the detail. It's you can be positive or you can be greater than, but you can never be negative, and that's part of the math equation. And then it's just something with me and my wife also.
That's awesome. Do you feel like you're finally getting the respect that you deserve? And
I don't know.
And like that, like I mean, you are a very underrated fighter, and I
Give me someone. I don't know. Like do the Bryce Mitchell thing where you throw me like Edson Barboza, dude. Not Edson. I'm not calling Edson out. Like don't get all pissy about it. But I'm just saying, like, give me someone that I'm supposed to lose to, and I guess we'll see if I'm overhyped or underhyped or whatever. I don't know. I don't have time to waste and call out every individual's name. But I want someone top 15. I want someone tough.
And I hope you get that next. Finally, for me, you're one of the rare fighters that got released and then came back. For any fighter that's been released recently, what's your advice to them?
Bust your ass. Don't think that you deserve to be there, because it's like there's a million guys that are busting their ass every day, and that's all it is. But whenever I made it into the UFC, I'd only been training I'd only been fighting professionally for a year and a half. So all of my amateur fights were strictly wrestling only, and I had a guy from Brazil that played soccer at my school, and he taught me jiu-jitsu. And so all of my amateur fights were done with wrestling and jiu-jitsu. I never threw one punch. I never got punched in the face once. And then whenever I graduated from Moval, I left there and I started training hard. And then I didn't get hit in the face until my 4th pro fight. And so when I made it into the UFC, I'd only been fighting for a year and a half when I made it in the first time, and I was not ready, not even a little bit. And, it is what it is. I made my way back, but I've been busting my ass this whole time.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.